Greetings everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Rye, and today's YouTube video has got me back again in the Fletcher. Yes, I know, 2 Fletcher videos in 1 week, but when you play the Fletcher as much as I do, when you have as many good games in it as I have, it's hard to pick and choose which ones to put up and which ones to just let go into the abyss. As the battle gets underway, it's the Okinawa map, it's domination mode, and I am doing something, again, a little bit uncharacteristic of me, and I am going towards the A cap point. Normally, the A cap point is a location on this particular map that you don't really want to go to, especially if you're a battleship. And the reason you don't want to go over here is because of this island there that you see off to my port side. That island effectively blocks all of your shots from the A cap point going into the B cap point. If you're far enough in the A cap point and you're shooting at something maybe in the C cap point, you can just clear that island, but it is going to be difficult to spot targets. And of course, it is going to be difficult to, get your shots lined up unless you have a scout spotter plane for that top-down view. That being said, coming over to the A cap point as a battleship is usually not advised just because it takes your guns out of the game. Now, cruisers, that's a different story. Something like the Des Moines, which can easily lob shots over the island there, or in Atlanta, same thing. Very easy to lob shots over, very useful. Difficult to spot shots, but if you've played the ship enough, you can get yourself some pretty easy hits. Now, if you're a destroyer, popping up here and getting yourself into a position where you can quickly turn around and run away, and that's what you saw there with me kind of stopping, turning away. Basically, if an enemy cruiser or an enemy destroyer came in to the cap point and could challenge me, if it was something that I couldn't deal with directly or quickly, then I would just bug the hell out. That's something that I see a lot of destroyer skippers don't really seem to understand, is they need to not stand and fight so much as they just need to run away. The longer you survive, the better off you are, and if you can goad the enemy destroyer or the enemy cruiser that's chasing you into opening fire on you, they're going to stay spotted while you might disappear, and that's going to give your cruisers and battleships an opportunity to shoot back at them. Now, I managed to secure the A cap point. The enemy team is trying to secure the B cap point, but they're having trouble, and they are pushing C pretty hard. The enemy team does lose one of their destroyers, and my team had a little bit of a destroyer advantage there with 4 destroyers. Of course, anytime I'm in the Fletcher, the team has always got a destroyer advantage, regardless of whether or not the enemy team has more destroyers. As I come around the island here, I spot this enemy destroyer. His engine's knocked out, so he's not having a good time of it. Definitely not able to maneuver as well as he'd like to. Clearly, he does have last stand, though, because he's moving pretty quickly for somebody with their engine knocked out. But I'm going to go ahead and open up on him. Managed to get a first few hits away there and do cause some significant damage. Can I finish him off? Come on. Yes, there it is. First kill of the game. Not a lot of damage done, but it's always nice to get that kill in. Now, the enemy team is down to 1 destroyer, and that's a Benson, and we'll see more of him later. They did manage to take out one of our friendly destroyers, and they have pulled back by killing yet another ship. So they are staying in the game for a little bit here. Now, I was detected because I opened up with my guns, so these cruisers back over here, these battleships, do know that there's a destroyer back in the backfield that's effectively chasing them, that's behind them, so they are going to need to pay attention to that possibility. But notice up there, there is a cruiser up there that does have torpedoes. Now, he has launched a set of torpedoes, and the first set actually managed to cut short. The second set concerned me a little bit because I wasn't sure what the range of that was, but it drops short as well. So while I turned in to possibly thread the needle there, get some torpedo beats action going, it ended up not being the case as those torpedoes ran out of steam. Now, what's up here is a very target-rich environment. Effectively, I can just fire off torpedoes into that mass of ships, and I know I'm going to hit something. But I really want to specifically pick a target to shoot at, because while there is a mass of ships up there, that means they're probably not going to be maneuvering as hard because there are so many ships in the way. Now, as I get up here, I fire off one set of torpedoes at a battleship off in the distance there, and the second set of torpedoes going out there is actually headed towards that Zhao, which is very low health. And if that Zhao, who is sailing away, obviously in an effort to basically no longer be the front line, no longer get hit, so that they can maybe heal up, repair a bit, and just sail into the back and let the battleships take the front there. Continue sailing in a straight line like he is there. Come on, can I get him? Just almost. Yes, there it is. 2 torpedo hits. Secured my second skill of the game. And I love doing that to cruisers too, especially cruisers, because they're so much more maneuverable. They are hard to hit with torpedoes if they're in hard maneuvering. And speaking of cruisers with hard maneuvering, this Ibuki up here, he's engaged pretty heavily, and he's got himself in a bad situation as he's pretty far forward and sandwiched between a bunch of battleships and a destroyer. And that's not good for him, because he is going to be set on fire by myself, but also he's going to take a lot of hits from whatever's around my team. Now, this is also another replay bug with the targeting. I'm actually targeting the Iowa back there that's headed this direction, and not so much the Ibuki, because I'm pretty sure that the Ibuki here is going to die well before my torpedoes reach him, especially with me shooting at him and with the battleship and cruisers around me shooting at him as well. The Ibuki does get a lucky shot there, and he manages to hit me inside my smoke completely blind, and I do secure the kill on the Ibuki, which is kind of amazing there. But the Ibuki, in a last-ditch effort, does end up blocking my torpedoes from hitting that Iowa. One of them does hit, causes flooding, which is nice, but talk about teamwork. The last bit that you can do for your team, save your battleship from the torpedo strike from that destroyer. Again, fully unintended to actually hit the Ibuki with those torpedoes. I was hoping that he would die before he was in a position to block them, but nevertheless, that's what ended up happening. Still, though, did hit one on the Iowa, and that Iowa is pushing up. He is danger close to a smokescreen, and yet he's sailing in a straight line next to a smokescreen. Again, danger close to a smokescreen. I mean, he's only 5 kilometers from me. So that means this set of torpedoes is really all I'm going to need, given how much health he has left. I only need to hit him with like 1 or 2 maximum, and considering he's on fire and still taking a lot of hits in from pretty much everybody around me, just 1 is probably going to do it. And he has seen the torpedoes. He turns in, but it's too little, too late. I hit him with 1 on the bow, cause flooding, and finish him off with the flooding. Now, you'll notice the team scores are pretty equal here, as the enemy team is down 5 ships and my team is down 4 ships. But my team has 2 of the caps, which is what's giving us the massive points advantage, because we're gaining points at a faster rate. And the vast majority of the enemy team is now bottled up down at the C cap point. I fire off a set of torpedoes there that was actually aimed at the Yamato, and that Yamato is kind of going to slow down here as a friendly cruiser or friendly destroyer lays a smokescreen for him to hide in. And if that was the destroyer doing that, that's excellent teamwork on that destroyer's part, laying a smokescreen for his battleships and cruisers up there so that they can stay hidden, avoid too much damage, and pretty much just continue wrecking the enemy team. But because that smokescreen's up there, that Yamato is slowing way down to stay inside of it. Of course, the destroyer has laid a nice wide smokescreen there, but I decide I'm going to lay down a smokescreen here so I can shoot at the Bismarck. And so I start firing off at him, and at this particular moment I'm trying to set him on fire, but now he's on fire, set on fire by somebody else. And he actually put the fire out, which is kind of amazing. Of course, I have that nervous twitch too when I play battleships, and I kind of do that. But he is turning hard and away. He's trying to make a desperate run for that smoke here in another 5 to 10 seconds. If I manage to set a fire on him, it will burn for a while. There it is, because his damage repair and damage control are off cooldown. So that fire is going to burn nicely for a little bit. Do manage to hit torpedoes on the Yamato in that smoke screen. He ended up right and exactly where I thought. Torpedoes coming in there, those are clearly from the Benson, so I start backing up and manage to avoid all of those, which makes me happy. You definitely didn't want to take a torpedo from a Benson. I would have survived pretty easily, but as we'll see here in a second, running into a Benson after having eaten a torpedo would be a bad thing. Do manage to flood the Yamato to death that was in the smoke screen and secure my Kraken Unleashed. 5 kills so far and 160,000 damage done. And I'm feeling pretty good. The enemy team still down on ships, but the teams are pretty close. As I pop out on my smoke screen, that's when the Benson pops up here. And this is going to be a problem. This is definitely going to be a firefight for the ages. Tier 8 destroyer versus a Tier 9 destroyer, both with 5 guns each. And I am laying into him and I'm wrecking him, and there's my Confederate award to go with my Kraken. Now I have the advantage because I have health over him, but he has the advantage because he's got a lot of cruisers behind him, and of course he's proximity detecting me, so I'm going to continue to be seen. But not anymore. I do avoid. I get far enough away from him in my smoke screen that I'm no longer detected. But you'll notice how much health I have left after that engagement. I have the survivability expert on my ship with my captain here, and I can honestly say that without that survivability expert skill, I would not have survived that engagement. So if you're in a US destroyer, I cannot recommend that skill enough. Fire off a set of torpedoes that's available at that Montana that's pushing up there. I'm pretty low health. I don't really want to engage with him, but that Montana is getting wrecked on all different sides from pretty much everybody. And it looks like I might actually hit him with a torpedo. Second set of torpedoes up, fire off those just in case he starts repairing himself. My team way up on points. Do manage to hit him. No flooding though. It looks like he's got his damage control ability up and running. So these shots here are just kind of frivolous. Just trying to get some damage, extra damage done before we win on points. And we're pretty much going to win on points as soon as we kill him. And he's very low health. And it looks like my torpedoes are not going to make it there before somebody kills him. Come on, maybe, who knows? Oh, no, that's not going to be the case. Gets taken out. No 7 kills for me, but 6 kills for me in that game. 184,000 damage done. Confederate and Kraken Unleashed. No high caliber, a little bit disappointed by the lack of that. But still, a very, very good game. And of course, I'll take the Confederate and Kraken Unleashed because both of those are XP flags. And those are always lovely. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Before we go there, we can see top of the team for base XP earned at 2,700 base XP in that game. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me in the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you early access to replays like this one. If you have got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships live and see some pretty interesting games and get some pretty unfiltered commentary, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.